And there we go again. Let's see. Let me just check a few things here. No, everything is all right. All right, so in this video, it might feel a little bit weird, but I don't really care. I'm past the point that I'm caring. Politics is by and large a major energy drain. Don't engage in it. And I mean all sorts of politics. Now, once again, I might be contradicting myself here because, believe it or not, I'm actually a member of a political party. Now, there's a difference between being a member, like a passive member, like a support member of a political party whose politics you might agree with more than the other side, whether you're on the left or the center or on the right. I don't really care. I'm a member of a political right-wing party because right now the right-wing parties are the only ones that make sense. Now, actually, believe it or not, way back in the day, I actually used to be center-left. Really, because then, so like the leftist centrists were the ones who made sense. Now they've gone completely haywire. They're for dictatorship, they're for communism, they're for fascism, they're for everything that they say they're against, which is pretty hilarious. They're even for war. If you listen to their rhetorics, they want to support the Ukraine war, they want to send more ammunition, they want more javelins, more tomahawks, they want more money to spend on military invasions instead of defending themselves. So whatever, I'm not gonna engage in that because it's just a massive energy drain. I just proved to y'all how energy draining it really is, because somebody might be watching this and they're like, oh, we should send more money, we should send more weapons to Ukraine, and now you got it going. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Here's what matters. If you're engaged in politics, and when I say engaged, I don't mean supporting a party. That's being passively engaged. But if you're deliberately engaged, like you're engaging in political debates, you're, knocking on doors, trying to recruit new members to your political party, you're attending rallies and so on, you're even sacrificing of your own time and money and energy, all for the political party, understand the following. They don't care jack shit about your own well-being. And you know this. Listen, do you think any career politician, no matter where you are in the world, whose job it is to sit on the parliament floor, passing laws, bills, regulations, rules, care one iota about your own well-being? Of course they don't. They just follow along because they want to stuff their own pockets with money and accolades, and they want to gain power and influence. It's perfectly normal. It's understandable. It's like if you're putting a child in front of a bowl of chocolate and sweets, and you tell the child, don't eat any of the chocolates and any of the sweets. I'm gonna leave the room and I'll be back for 10 minutes. And when I get back, you may not have eaten, or you're not allowed to have eaten any chocolates or sweets. Do you think the child is going to obey you? Of course not. Just like I would have helped myself with chocolate and sweets from the bowl, or help myself with cookies from the cookie jar, especially when my parents didn't see when I was a kid. So would you, so would anyone else. And you don't think that translates into their behavior in adult life? Of course it does. These people don't care about you at all. They don't care about anyone. They certainly don't care about the country's well-being. They might say they do. They might lie. I mean, do you believe anything a politician tells you these days? Have you ever believed a politician? Admittedly, I was so stupid I once believed politicians way back in the day. I don't anymore because they're all lying. They're all lying. I'll give you an example. So recently there was this kind of heartbreaking story about how one of the major grocery chains in my country, they would stop they would stop purchasing wooden chips from a retail manufacturer who hired people who couldn't get regular jobs, like people who were disabled, mentally challenged, and so on, people who were outside of the workforce from non-profit organizations who are doing like manual labor tasks like chopping up wood into wooden chips that people would use for, I think it was smoking meat and so on. Lower grade work. And instead of supporting these non-profit organizations who would hire and pay these otherwise unhireable people, for lack of a better term, they're now going to leave them behind and ditch them. And guess what? They're going to buy cheaper wooden chips from China. Think about that. That's so disgusting, really. It's so disgusting, I personally don't even want to buy anything from that grocery chain anymore. Regrettably, I'll probably have to do so because they're a major grocery chain in my country. But still, it's disgusting. You don't think that politicians in general think like that? When they're looking at the spreadsheets, when they're calculating costs, when they're assessing the budgets? Of course they do. They don't give a rat's ass about you. If some stock owners on a board in a council decide that the company can't, keep on buying wooden chips from non-profit organizations because the profit margins are just too small and they can make, 2 cents more on the dollar by buying from China. You don't think that translates into what politicians would do with respect to their own country and passing new bills and laws? Of course it does. And bottom line, where am I going with this? It's a major energy thief. It's a major energy drain. And it's a major time and energy vampire politics. Don't engage in it. Support your local party, whatever, and that's it. Don't do anything else. Pay the annual membership fee, whatever it is. Don't do anything else. Focus on yourself instead. This is me preaching individualism because that's how society works these days, irrespective of where you are in the world. And with that being said, if you want to learn more about time and energy vampires and how to treat them, how to guard yourself from them, go get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is below the episode description wherever you're watching or listening to this. Thank you, and I'll see you later.